Hello and welcome to our presentation, Breaking into the U.S. Market, How to Get Your Building Products Specified. This presentation serves as an introduction to a complex topic, covering the essential elements you need to understand to navigate the specification landscape successfully. Before we get started, I want to ask you some important questions. Do you want to get your product specified? Do you want to reach the decision makers? Can you follow a proven plan for success? Let's talk about why the U.S. market is such a big deal for building product manufacturers around the world. If you're looking for growth, America is where you need to be. Think about this: the U.S. accounts for a full 20% of all building products used globally. That's 1/5 of a $1.1 trillion market. And it's only getting bigger, with projections showing the global market hitting $1.7 trillion by 2030. Sure, there's competition. Companies from Canada, China, Mexico, Germany, and Japan are already selling about $88 billion worth of building products to the U.S. annually. But there are still plenty of underserved segments where you can make your mark with better technology, performance, or value. If you're serious about growing your building products business globally, you can't afford to ignore the U.S. market. The real question isn't whether you should enter, it's how quickly you can get started. U.S. construction spending hit over $2 trillion last year. That's not just a big number. It represents thousands of projects happening across the country where your products could be specified. The commercial segment is particularly good right now. We're seeing 5.7% annual growth in this sector. Think about what that means: offices, hospitals, schools, retail spaces, all being built or renovated at an accelerating pace. Now, if you're in the green building space, pay special attention to this next point. The green building materials market is absolutely booming, growing at over 11% annually. Sustainability isn't just a buzzword in the U.S. anymore, it's driving real purchasing decisions. Now, let's talk about the challenges you'll face entering the U.S. market. When we talk to foreign manufacturers who've made this journey, the same issues come up again and again. In fact, about 75% of them point to regulatory barriers as their biggest headache. The testing, the certifications, the code compliance, it can feel like navigating a maze. Distribution is another major stumbling block. Nearly 7 out of 10 manufacturers have struggled to establish effective distribution channels. The U.S. is huge, fragmented, and the relationships can be challenging to build from scratch. Then there's the specification challenge. About 54% of companies say they hit a wall trying to break into established specification channels. Those relationships between architects, specifiers, and existing manufacturers can be tough to penetrate. But here's the thing: while these challenges are real, they're not insurmountable. Companies overcome them every day with the right strategy and preparation. Building product manufacturers trying to enter the U.S. market need to understand several important aspects of product specification. They include: what is the standard U.S. specification? Who specifies building products in the U.S.? What are the most important construction phases? Building product manufacturers outside of the United States use different specification standards and formats. For example, in Europe, they use the Eurocodes, which are the 10 European standards specifying how structural design should be conducted within the European Union. The Eurocodes provide a framework for creating harmonized technical specifications for building products. In the United Kingdom, they use the National Building Specification. In Australia, they use NatSpec Building Specification System. It provides a standardized framework for writing construction specifications. Master format is a standard for organizing specifications and other written information for commercial and institutional building projects in North America. Master format is a product of the Construction Specifications Institute, also known as CSI, and Construction Specifications Canada, also known as CSC. Master format divides a construction project into a series of numbered divisions and sections, each addressing a specific aspect of the project, such as concrete, masonry, electrical systems, plumbing, and so on. This standardized format helps architects, engineers, contractors, and other stakeholders communicate effectively and ensures that essential project information is organized in a way that is easy to understand and access. Manufacturers entering the U.S. market must have product guide specifications. A product specification identifies a type of product to serve as the foundation for design decisions. It contains 3 parts, which include Part 1, General. This is an introductory executive summary for the specification section. It encompasses administrative requirements, the submittal and substitution process, and quality assurance specific to that particular specification section only. Part 2, Products. This part pertains to the manufacturing and fabrication of the product. It includes information on acceptable manufacturers, assembly or fabrication tolerances, source quality control, tests, inspections, and manufacturer services during fabrication. Part 3, Execution. This part addresses the work carried out at the project site, covering installation tolerances, manufacturer services during and after installation, as well as field or site quality control, tests, and inspections. Who specifies products in the United States? Specifiers can include architects, engineers, interior designers, and other specialists involved in the project. In addition, building owners and contractors can be part of the product specification process. Architects have a significant influence on shaping specifications. The architect oversees overall design, ensuring adherence to the owner's requirements, aesthetic approach, building codes, and safety. They meet program requirements, design according to codes, and deliver within budget. Architects serve as the gatekeepers of innovation in the construction industry, carefully selecting products that align with their design vision and project requirements. The architect is who we will focus on today. Manufacturers entering the U.S. market need to understand the phases of construction so they can get their products specified. The American Institute of Architects officially lists 5 separate design phases. They include schematic design, design development, construction documents, bidding and negotiation, contract administration. The design development and construction documents are critical phases where product manufacturers need to be engaged with AEC firms. By comprehending the nuances of each phase, manufacturers can tailor their marketing and specification strategies to align with the specific needs and priorities of architects, contractors, and project owners at different stages of the construction process. The International Building Code, known as the IBC, is one of the most widely adopted building codes in the United States, providing minimum requirements for building design, construction, and occupancy to safeguard public health and safety. The IBC is updated every 3 years and has been adopted by most states and municipalities, often with local amendments. Foreign manufacturers sometimes mistakenly believe that their home country's code compliance automatically translates to IBC compliance. That assumption has derailed many promising products at the permitting stage, costing companies millions in lost opportunities. Product manufacturers need to review their products against IBC, local building codes, and applicable amendments. Manufacturers should identify gaps between existing certifications and U.S. requirements and develop compliance roadmap prioritizing critical standards. There are important testing standards that manufacturers need to be aware of when entering the U.S. market. We can't discuss them all, but here are a few. ASTM E84 and UL 723. These surface burning characteristics tests are fundamental for almost all interior finish materials and are referenced extensively in building codes. NFRC ratings. For windows, doors, and glazed products, these energy performance ratings are required nationwide. ASTM water penetration tests. Building envelope failures are among the most common construction defects, making these moisture tests critically important. UL product certifications for electrical components and many life safety products. UL certification is often a practical requirement for market acceptance. NSF and ANSI 61. For any product that contacts potable water, this standard is essentially mandatory. CDPH standard method and Green Guard. With the increasing focus on healthy buildings, VOC emissions testing has become essential for interior materials. ICCS evaluation reports. While not a test standard itself, these reports are often the most direct path to code acceptance for innovative products or those not specifically addressed in codes. The liability exposure from specifying non-tested products is simply too great. Foreign manufacturers who haven't invested in U.S. testing are effectively asking architects to put their firm at risk. If you're a foreign building product manufacturer trying to break into the U.S. market, Americans with Disabilities Act compliance isn't optional, it's the law. And if you ignore it, you won't just be sidelined. You could face lawsuits, rejected bids, and lost sales. Doors and hardware, flooring materials, and plumbing fixtures may all be affected by Americans with Disabilities Act compliance requirements. Americans with Disabilities Act compliance is a must-have for government buildings, schools, hospitals, offices, and many commercial spaces. Foreign manufacturers who take accessibility seriously won't just avoid legal issues. They'll gain a competitive edge in a market that prioritizes inclusivity. Market position and distribution are critical for companies trying to enter the U.S. market. Manufacturers need to review the U.S. market and positioning opportunities. Define your product's unique value proposition for U.S. markets. Determine channel strategies such as direct sales, rep groups, and distributors. Establish logistics and inventory capabilities. Establish warranty programs meeting U.S. expectations. Foreign manufacturers who have successfully entered the U.S. market understand three fundamental truths. Building relationships with specification professionals is essential. Education about your products must be delivered in formats familiar to U.S. design professionals. And documentation must be comprehensive, code-compliant, and formatted to American standards. This three-pronged approach, building relationships, education, and documentation, forms the foundation for specification success. Manufacturers who neglect any of these pillars find themselves consistently overlooked, regardless of product superiority or competitive pricing. The specification process is inherently risk-averse, favoring the familiar and well-documented over the unknown, no matter how innovative. Breaking into the U.S. construction market presents significant challenges for non-U.S. building product manufacturers. One of the most formidable barriers is the natural hesitation from architects and specifiers who are unfamiliar with your products and have no established relationship with your company. American architects and specifiers face considerable professional liability when selecting products. They typically prefer working with manufacturers they know and trust, whose products have been proven in the U.S. market. Without this foundation of trust, your technically superior products may never make it into specifications, regardless of their merits. Two powerful strategies are creating face-to-face presentations and joining professional organizations. Nothing replaces the impact of being directly in front of design professionals, demonstrating your products and answering questions directly. Manufacturers must identify the decision-makers in AEC firms and invest time in building personal connections with them. One-on-one meetings help achieve the following. Direct engagement. These meetings are direct interactions between your product reps and the decision-makers, promoting product specification opportunities. These are proprietary presentations, not generic AIA education courses. You can discuss pricing, competitors, and are not bound by education requirements. Increased product visibility. Through curated meetings, design professionals get to see your products and their benefits. What problems does your product solve? Project reports and leads. The one-on-one meetings provide your product reps with leads, project data, and useful market intelligence. An inexpensive but effective way for manufacturers to build relationships with design professionals is to join local professional organizations. Joining these organizations gives product reps access to spec writers, demonstrates commitment to the industry, allows participation on tech committees, and ultimately builds trust. Here are a few prominent organizations we recommend: the American Institute of Architects, the Construction Specifications Institute, the U.S. Green Building Council, and finally, the AISD or IDS. Marketing is not a battle of products. It's a battle of perceptions. A powerful education campaign can help your company enter the U.S. market and get your product specified. Design professionals are flooded with thousands of free education courses. How can you cut through the noise? Nearly every state like Texas, California, and New York mandates continuing education for licensed architects, and many states have similar requirements for engineers and interior designers. The AIA Learning Unit is the default continuing education hour for architects in almost all states. Additionally, manufacturers should consider registering their courses with the GBCI for lead professionals, the RCEP for engineers. There are 4 primary education formats that product manufacturers should consider. Face-to-face courses. These presentations create personal connections that other formats can't match. Manufacturers can showcase products, address questions immediately, and provide hands-on demonstrations. Online courses enable you to educate specifiers 24 hours a day, anywhere in the world. They generate leads for your reps and educate specifiers. Manufacturers can utilize webinars to effectively educate and persuade specifiers, leading to greater product adoption and market success. They also generate leads, gather valuable market intelligence through surveys, and increase product specification opportunities. Podcasts. This is the newest and most cost-effective format to reach decision makers. Podcasts deliver your content directly to design professionals during their daily routines. Podcasts generate leads and can be easily broadcast on platforms like Spotify, Amazon, and Apple. Documentation is critical for getting your products specified. Without it, American design professionals will not use your product. Here are some of the requested documentation and resources that specifiers need. 3-part guide specifications, building information modeling, lead documentation, safety data sheets, testing and certifications, technical data sheets, environmental product declarations and health product declarations. Manufacturers entering the U.S. will need to meet documentation requirements for LEED. Recent data from the U.S. Green Building Council's 2025 Market Outlook reveals that LEED-certified projects have increased by 34% since 2023, with over 156,000 commercial projects now certified worldwide. The American Institute of Architects Firms survey shows that 92% of architectural firms have formal sustainability commitments, with 84% requiring LEED or Living Building Challenge certification experience for new hires. Manufacturers should focus their efforts on important sustainability documentation like the Health Product Declaration, Environmental Product Declaration, Volatile Organic Compound Emissions Testing, and LEED documentation, which is a summary of your product's LEED contributions. LEED can be confusing for manufacturers. People can't be LEED certified. Products can't be LEED certified. Only buildings can be LEED certified. Products must meet LEED requirements typically through testing, documentation, product declarations, third-party certifications, and other criteria. The U.S. Green Building Council does not endorse or certify building products. You don't need to be a LEED expert, but it's essential for your team to understand how your products contribute to LEED. There are great free training programs for product reps to help train your team. Now that we have an overview of the strategies to enter the U.S. market, we'll explore some of these concepts in greater detail. How can a manufacturer entering the U.S. market succeed in getting their products specified? How can you reach the decision makers? Here are effective programs that can help any manufacturer entering the U.S. market. The Architectural Specifications Program, an AI education course, and LEED documentation. What is the Architectural Specification Program and who does it work for? It works for any building product. It generates leads. It saves money. It builds trust with specifiers. It stops reactionary selling. It increases return on investment. The ASP sounds great, doesn't it? When your team has this tool, you'll increase your specification opportunities and save money. Here's a list of common problems that manufacturers have getting their products specified. And here are the solutions the ASP program offers. You're probably thinking you need to hire several full-time employees to make architectural presentations. When you add up salary, benefits, insurance, and overhead, it can be very expensive. With our ASP program, you don't have to hire a full-time employee. It's a cost-effective solution for smart companies. You're probably thinking you need to jump on an airplane, rent a car, book a hotel, and coordinate a complex schedule to make your architectural presentations, right? Well, actually, there is no travel involved. In the old days, pre-COVID, we used to fly our team every week to different cities across the country. Our entire operation changed when COVID hit. We were worried about doing product presentations online. What surprised us the most when we converted to an online system is that we now reach more decision makers and gather more intel during these online meetings than the old office visits. ASP eliminates travel expenses and increases qualified leads, so your team doesn't waste time. You're probably thinking you can't get past the gatekeepers to reach the decision makers. Well, actually, we take care of that for you with ASP. Many product reps complain of gatekeepers. They can't get past the front desk of an architecture firm for a cold call. They can't get a project architect on the phone. They end up talking to an intern. All of our meetings are scheduled. There are no cold calls. The design professionals want to meet with our team because of their professional reputation, and they want to learn about new products. Our program cuts through the noise. We become part of your team to build name recognition for your products and generate leads. We're here to help every step of the way. Isn't that great? So, how does the Architectural Specifications program work? You choose your regions across the country to secure hundreds of meetings. We collaborate with you to create your presentation for the decision makers. We schedule the meetings weeks in advance. No cold calls. Our team of specification experts presents your products to the design professionals. We educate them about all of the benefits. We collect data about current or future projects and any significant market intelligence. Your team receives weekly reports each week to follow up. Here are the regions we visit annually. We visit each region several times per year. Could your reps carry this many regions? Would this be helpful for your company entering the U.S. market and reaching the decision makers? Education is one of the most cost-effective ways for manufacturers to reach decision makers. There are 120,000 licensed architects in the United States. There are 35,000 candidates working toward licensure. There are 46 states that have education requirements. The majority of states require 12 to 24 hours of continuing education annually or every 2 years. Manufacturers who want to reach decision makers at U.S. firms need an education course registered with the American Institute of Architects. Every building product manufacturer will want to register their course with the American Institute of Architects. This is a mandatory designation for manufacturers who want to reach architects. At least 75% of the content must be on health, safety, and welfare topics. The course must be generic in nature for AIA registration. You can discuss your products but cannot mention brand names. One of the biggest opportunities for building product manufacturers is lead education. Over 100,000 lead professionals need continuing education. Lead accredited professionals require 30 CE hours every 2 years. Lead courses can generate significant leads. Manufacturers wanting to get into the green building space need to develop a lead-focused course that is registered with the GBCI. Manufacturers entering the U.S. market need to educate design professionals about their products, build trust, and generate leads. As we discussed earlier in the presentation, there are 4 primary education formats. We'll provide an overview of the benefits of each format and how they can help manufacturers reach specifiers. Manufacturers that want to present their AIA courses to design professionals in face-to-face settings should consider the CE Academy. These live events are held throughout the United States in key specification markets in cities like Dallas, Atlanta, Denver, Austin, Nashville, and San Antonio. Live learning events provide an opportunity to present courses in full-day in-person sessions. Classroom events allow participants to join scheduled full-day sessions at select locations, featuring a curated group of course sponsors. These live events provide manufacturers with a valuable opportunity to meet specifiers face-to-face, shake hands, and engage in meaningful discussions about upcoming projects. Beyond education, these gatherings foster networking, helping manufacturers build relationships that can lead to increased specification opportunities. With the RBA team handling all coordination and catering, you can focus entirely on making connections. Just show up and start the conversation. Online anytime education courses are a powerful tool for building product manufacturers looking to get their products specified. These courses attract architects, engineers, interior designers, and lead professionals who need continuing education hours. These courses serve as lead generators, capturing key details such as the architect's name, email, and phone number, which manufacturers can use for follow-ups and targeted outreach. Unlike in-person presentations that are limited by geography and travel budgets, online courses reach design professionals anywhere in the United States. Additionally, these courses work 24 hours a day, ensuring product messaging is accessible whenever a specifier is researching solutions. Over time, this builds trust and familiarity, making it more likely that the manufacturer's products will be chosen when it's time to specify materials for a project. Webinars that win specifications do three things: educate, engage, and make the specifier's life easier. Webinars are an effective tool for manufacturers who want to educate hundreds of design professionals at a time. Webinar courses offer building product manufacturers a powerful way to connect with decision makers, generate qualified leads, and gain valuable market intelligence, all while saving on travel expenses. By providing educational content tailored to architects, specifiers, and contractors, manufacturers can position themselves as industry thought leaders, building trust and credibility. These online sessions allow for real-time engagement, enabling direct interaction with key decision-makers who influence product selection. Additionally, built-in analytics tools help track attendee behavior, offering insights into market trends, customer pain points, and potential opportunities. Compared to in-person events, webinars eliminate travel costs and logistical challenges, making them a cost-effective strategy for expanding brand reach and driving sales. Strategic spec webinars go beyond basic education. They actively identify specifiers who are genuinely interested in your product and assess whether they have the authority to specify it right now. By engaging attendees in targeted discussions and interactive Q&A sessions, these webinars reveal what stage they're at in the specification process. They also pinpoint the specific resources specifiers need, whether it's guide specs, lead documentation, HPDs, or other critical materials, so you can provide exactly what's required to move them forward. Most importantly, strategic spec webinars deliver clear next steps for follow-up, ensuring that your sales team knows who to contact, what to provide, and how to keep the momentum going toward a specification or sale. A podcast is kinda like a webinar, and an online course meets a morning radio show. Architects, engineers, and interior designers love podcasts. How do we know this? Because we have the metrics after thousands of design professionals have listened to them on our platforms. Podcasts are perfect for busy architects. They deliver valuable insights in a format that fits into their hectic schedules. The podcasts are distributed over a dozen platforms, including Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Buzzsprout, and more. Design professionals can listen anytime and anywhere to hear about your products. Podcasts just don't educate specifiers about your products, they collect valuable information. Getting contact details of design professionals lets you nurture those relationships and turn them into loyal customers. Podcasts collect information about design professionals, including the name, the email, and the telephone number. Here are manufacturers and organizations that have launched successful podcasts to reach design professionals. Organizations like Saint-Gobain, SPC, and Wolf Home Products have all increased brand awareness, reached decision makers, and generated leads. One of our biggest success stories helping a building product manufacturer enter the U.S. market is Cosentino. The Spanish company's first international expansion was into North America. Let's take a look at how the Architectural Specifications program helped a major manufacturer succeed. In 2002, Cosentino built a 75,000 square foot headquarters and distribution plant in Houston. They had entered the U.S. market in the late 1990s but had not had much success in the architectural market. They had capacity and lots of product but nobody to specify it or use it. Cosentino hired 35 support staff. Very few of them knew anything about product specification or had relationships with people in the AEC industry. Since many of the new hires were from Europe where they do things differently, they didn't visit AEC firms, they didn't offer education programs, and they hit a brick wall. Cosentino had a great product in silestone, a quartz surfacing material that nearly everyone knows about now, but back then it was an unknown product. Cosentino had several goals we helped them achieve. Reach the decision makers. Get silestone products specified. Build brand awareness. Generate leads for reps. Our team put together a program to get Cosentino products specified nationwide. We had 3 architectural reps visit 1,500 AEC firms annually. This boosted specs and sales significantly. We created 12 AIA continuing education programs over the course of a few years. This helped Cosentino dominate the market and beat their competition. Our team developed webinars that built brand loyalty and a following. Our team also developed their health product declarations to get specified on lead projects. We trained the Cosentino sales team to work with specifiers and interior designers. As we've just seen, the Architectural Specifications program works for any product, any company, and it can work for you. ASP is the way to increase your specification opportunities. Building product manufacturers that want to enter the U.S. market and get their products specified should consider a multi-prong approach. We recommend the Architectural Specifications program, including 700 presentations and one-on-one meetings with specifiers. The online Anytime course will help you educate specifiers 24 hours a day and generates leads. Webinars will educate design professionals, and you can use the Strategic Spec Report to identify specifiers who want to use your products now. Lead documentation and health product declarations, if you want to get specified for lead, these are the minimum requirements. These programs will help you enter the market, reach the decision makers, and get your products specified. Thank you for joining us today. Contact our team for a free consultation to learn how to get your products specified. Have a great day.